Hello guys, it's been a while. So today I want to share my depersonalization / derealization recovery story. I know there is a lot of people out there with this condition or mental disorder who are really struggling and they can't really find any ways or solutions to get rid of this disorder, and it's something I've struggled myself with. I've had this for 12 years. I feel like I have tried everything to get rid of this or see improvements with this. And I finally found something that helped me recover from this quite quickly, actually. So I hope this will help you too. I know that it is a horrible condition, and it really reduces your quality of life. And some people are affected by this so much they can't even get out of bed, and I understand why. So derealization is a mental disorder. So my symptoms, at least, was that one day there was a traumatic event for me. I suffered from extreme stress and suddenly I felt like the world was not real anymore. I became completely disconnected from reality. I didn't recognize the world anymore. Everything started feeling like a dream, and I was also disconnected from myself. I would look at my own hands, I would not recognize them, they would look really weird, dreamy. When I touched things, I felt disconnected from it. When I was walking outside, everything looks weird, distorted. It's completely disconnected, and it caused me a tremendous amount of anxiety. And I've had that to this day. So I have problems as soon as I got out of my house. Then it starts. I start getting anxious. Going to areas where there's a lot of people, that will make me super anxious. Driving, really anxious. There's just so much anxiety here. So I went to get some help from a psychologist or psychiatrist with this. And the first time I did this, many years ago, he told me we have to treat my anxiety. But it was kind of the derealization that was causing my anxiety here. But he said, I guess I didn't have anxiety before. But then I was thinking, okay, maybe I've just started getting anxiety and that's causing these symptoms. And then I started to treat my anxiety with meditation, kind of exercises, body exercises. They didn't do anything. So stopped going to him. Many years later, still suffering, and I feel like it's getting worse. And I still try to function in daily life, but I just felt like I was living in a big blur. I had no idea what was going on around me. I didn't recognize people that were close to me. They didn't feel familiar to me. I didn't feel familiar to myself. When I looked myself in the mirror, I felt like it wasn't me. Like, in theory, I know it's me, but didn't feel like me. And, my loved ones, that I see every day, they would still feel strange to me. And, I would ask myself, who is this person that I'm living with? It is strange, and so you kind of feel like you're going crazy, right? And then I made another attempt to go get help because it was so debilitating for me. I started getting depression because of it. Couldn't get out of bed. I think I was basically in bed for 6 months. So I decided to get help again from the psychiatry because I was becoming suicidal because of this. And they told me that antipsychotics might help. And I was like, really? I'm normally not a fan of medication, but I thought it was worth a try. And I asked the doctor, and I was at the psych ward, is this gonna get rid of my derealization? Like, super excited. And she was like, yeah, that's the idea. And I was like, well, then I'll definitely take the antipsychotics any day. And they made me feel so much worse than I was already feeling. And I was feeling so uncomfortable in my body and had severe restlessness, and it didn't help. And I told the doctors, these pills, they don't help. And they're like, okay, but let's put you on some other pills, some other antipsychotics. I'm like, fine, I'll try. Because I was so desperate to get out of this, so I kept taking new ones who had different side effects, but that was also horrible. None helped, and they kept wanting to, stuff me with antipsychotics, and I just had enough of that. I refused to take them. So stop with that, and then I started getting into talk therapy, which is also one of the main ways of treating this condition. Where we also try to focus on my anxiety and also talk about, my childhood and, the basic things in therapy. But the focus was, what was causing my anxiety here. So it was all focused on my anxiety. After 1.5 years in therapy, still nothing, I still feel the same. It's actually maybe worse, like the condition. I felt a little better, emotionally. I wasn't depressed anymore, so it helped in some ways. It made me feel better about a lot of things. But it didn't treat the condition. I still had derealization. So it doesn't seem like no one really has any good ideas on how to treat this condition. And also, there doesn't seem to be a clear idea of what is causing it. Because I've heard a lot of people, in different stories on how people got this condition, and mainly it's panic attacks, trauma, like with me. Some people use some drugs. There was someone who smoked marijuana once, and they got derealization, and but then there was some person who said she was 12 years old, she stood up too quickly and she got derealization. And then there was another one who said she just woke up with it one day. I thought it's pretty strange. And it's people with mental health problems and people who doesn't have mental health problems. But it seems in most cases to be some kind of extreme stress on your nervous system that causes this. And it is known that extreme stress on your nervous system can cause vision problems. So here's where I found my solution. I started when I read about derealization. It says this: derealization affects your ability to see your surroundings accurately. Things might not seem real. You might feel like you're looking through a clouded window, or in black and white rather than full color. Objects might look distorted in shape or size. You might feel like they change when you look at them. So this made me realize, this sounds, like vision problems. But I go to an optician regularly. I went to an eye doctor. He said my eyes look nice and healthy, nothing wrong with them. But and then I tried doing this thing where I would look around when my dreamy vision was pretty extreme, and I would cover one eye just to see, and that dreamy vision was significantly reduced by just looking with one eye. So, but there's something going on with my eyes here. It is definitely caused by some visual stimuli that is making my symptoms worse. So I started, looking into some eye exercises. And I started to find out exactly what my problem was here. And what I noticed was when I was focusing on objects, also only with one eye, I could not hold my focus on them. The focus would jump everywhere around the objects, or different places. And when I was looking with both my eyes, it's like the focus would jump rapidly from eye to eye. And that is what mainly caused this dreamy vision that I had. And that has caused my derealization symptoms. It seems to have been all mostly related to that. I can't say it all symptoms were, but mostly it was that was causing it. So I started to try to train the focus in my eyes, and my eyes. And I will show you these exercises. So after I did these exercises, I started pretty slowly with this. I wasn't sure if this was gonna work. I was experimenting. So I was training the focus, one eye at a time, then with both my eyes doing different things. And a couple of days later, I could see some really good improvements in that dreamy vision that I had. And now I have done it for a couple of weeks, and every day that went by, I did these exercises every morning, and things started to look, like they should. The dreamy vision, it started to disappear. Everything started to look so much more vivid and colorful, and there was more depth to it. It started to feel real because it looked real. And I started to be able to estimate distances a lot better and the shape of objects. So touching things, like sometimes when I touch myself, it's like my eye input is kind of telling me I'm not, but I feel like I'm touching myself. It's causing this confusion. I don't know if that's the reason for this, glass bubble we are feeling like we're in. But yeah, I've been walking around just looking at the world now, and it's so pleasant looking around, and I can look at people. I can look people in the eyes. That was a problem before because I couldn't focus on their faces. It was really hard. It was it's doing the thing where it's jumping, it's making it dreaming. It's so hard to look at. So I started feeling more connected to the world again, and people and myself. It started to not feel strange anymore. Things started to feel familiar again. And it is, I've been so happy lately. It is amazing. I never thought I would recover after this, especially at 12 years. I thought I was doomed forever. But here I am. So I can't say that I'm 100% recovered, but 90%. And I'm very happy here even. So but I still hope it can get better. I'm gonna try experiment with eye exercises. You can also go to a binocular vision specialist if you want a professional. They can probably help you with this, but I just did some eye exercises at home. So I'm gonna show you what I did and explain it to you. So I started out with a pen, but I found that a Q-tip was easier to look at for me. And then on the Q-tip, I don't know if you can see it, I have drawn a dot. So what I trained here was to hold my focus on this dot and the Q-tips. So first I will train one eye, and then train the other, and then both of them together. So these are the exercises I did. So I start holding it in front of my eye, and then I go from side to side slowly. I found that the slower I did this, the more improvements. And you do it to the side till your eye starts to strain, and then you go back, maybe do it further back, and you keep going from side to side. And what you want to do is keep your focus on the tip the entire time. And this was really hard for me to do at first, because my focus would go all around the point. Sometimes it would be on the point, but mostly it would just go, around the point. So that was uncomfortable, but I'm a lot better at it now. Then you do that with both your eyes together after you've done them separately. The next exercise, you do this again, and you just go down and up, keeping your focus the entire time. And you will also go all the way down and up till your eye starts to strain. So then you do that. You can do it a couple of minutes, whatever you want. At both your eyes. Then you do it with your eyes together. So, third exercise. What you want to do? Stick it out at a distance, and then have it come towards your nose. And keeping the focus on it the entire time. And you'll switch, you train both eyes again. Last exercise, you can do what you want in this Q-tip, but I would just move it around, randomly, different distances. So it's trying to train my focus. And I also found that it was harder for me to do this with objects further in the distance, so it's good to practice that too. So you just focus on an object in the distance with one eye, try to keep the focus on it. You can feel your focus in your eye, like your eyes twitching inside, because it can't quite hold it. And you want to reduce that as much as possible, and I have done that. So do it with both your eyes, looking at something in the distance, then both your eyes. So doing this every morning for the last couple of weeks. I think it took me 3 weeks to get 80-90% of my vision to work again. My focus, my vision. So I really hope this helps you too. I don't know if there is other causes for this, but this was what caused mine. So good luck with this, and be welcome to give me some feedback in the comments if this works or doesn't work, or works in some things and some things it doesn't. So good luck, guys. Stay strong.